It's been a while since I made a video, so welcome back. This is going to be all about my 30 races in 30 days challenge over my last race. And in honesty, it was 30 races in 31 days challenge. I'll get to that one later. So the 30 for 30 challenge, it comes from I heard it on the Nowhere Fast podcast. And one of the guys on the podcast was just having a tough time, not enjoying racing very much, and then decided to do this challenge to try to get back in shape. And I was feeling very much the same way towards the end of the recent ZRL and some of my latter races. I was just getting spanked out the back, not having fun anymore, getting dropped early, and just almost dreading racing. So I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I figured, hey, I'll give this a try, see how it goes. And so I started, the first day was my last ladder race on the 24th of March, and then just wrapped up on the 22nd of April. I missed day number 29 because, sorry, I missed the 30th day and I had to redo because I went out for a family hike and twisted my ankle pretty bad. So it was really swollen and decided to stay off it that night. So jumped into this one late at night, one of the after party the Queens Highway after party. Um, Jumped in this one. It was the only one that was available. It's 10:10 Eastern time. And luckily, when I got in, I was doing my warm up, and my buddy Alex on the team, he also joined me. And Alex is actually someone local to me who I met before Zwift racing. We had ridden together outside, and he's the one who introduced me to Coalition. So for him to join me on the last race was lots of fun. So a small field. I think it says 11 on the leaderboard, but I think there was only ever about 8 of us. So it was fun to be able to have a teammate in this race and go after it. So over these 30 days, the things that I found, again, other than being exhausted, was my heart rate started to get a little bit more under control in races. It got back to recovery. It got back to a normal point quicker than it was when I was sort of struggling earlier on in February and March. Obviously, the legs are going to feel tired. I found that my sprint was the one thing that didn't really come back, and that's having sort of tired, heavy legs. That makes sense. But the one thing that I did find was that even when I felt super tired in races, and I felt, oh, my legs not feeling great early on in the race, when it came to decision points and climbs later on in races, I generally felt I was surprised how much my legs responded, and I was able to stick with the front group through some tough spots. Um, my racing score jumped up quite a bit. I think I went from 360 up to about 450 by the end of the challenge, and then also my velo score on the Zwift Racing app went from, I think it's gone up close to 100 points. So the results have been coming better, and the point wasn't necessarily the race results, getting better race results, but just being competitive in races. And I just wasn't for a while. I was just, like I had mentioned earlier, I was just getting dropped early, getting dropped sort of the first or second uphill in a lot of races. So I was really losing motivation, not having a lot of fun. So here, getting back into this race here, Alex and I talked before, like, what's our plan? What are we going to do? I just thought, well, let's just try to survive. The one person that we had targeted as having a pretty big 5-minute power, which can be beneficial in a race with a late climb, it was Neo, and we had some marked him. We didn't notice too many others, so we thought, like a lot of these after party races, maybe just wait for the climb at the end, which is how most of them tend to play out. They're basically the Swiss versions of La Flèche Wallonne. But so we're getting through. The Queens Highway after party is kind of fun because you just have this punchy little sprint each lap, and people tend to get you lose one or two. Like in a bigger field, you lose a few every lap going over there. It's just attritional and sort of going back, and there's not a lot of time in between. Just it's so quick down and back up. So here, Alex makes a little attack. I just kind of sit in. Alex has the Watts and he had the anvil, so makes sense. He's got a lot of pure watts. He goes off. I just sit in here, um, and he gets a pretty big. No one's really too active in shutting it down right here, so I'm just happily sitting in. He's pushing it up. It gets up 3 seconds plus, and I'll just let everyone else drag me back. He keeps going, and then I mentioned to him that I will try to bridge across on the sprint if it's still opened up. But then Morrison here, he makes the attack to close the gap. I get back up on his wheel, and then once he gets here, he just kind of sits up. It was a bit early. I wasn't really ready to go over the top and try to keep going because with 12 kilometers to go, I don't think I can stay away that much. My watts just aren't my watts just aren't there. The pure watts not going to happen. So here we go. We're back together again. Neo comes through the front, and then we're back up through for another lap through the sprint. I'm just at this point. I was just trying to stay in the front, just get over and not get dropped. But I see a little gap go, so I just decided to keep going, keep pushing it. It goes out to 4 seconds, 5 seconds. Alex is encouraging me here. Um, I'm not sure why you don't see my chats to him in the window, but we're just doing some text back and forth. He's sort of watching the backfield, the back group to see where we're going. Nothing's happening according to him. So I keep going, but I'm really not confident that I can make something stick from here. So I don't go too hard. I just go at a decent pace, knowing this is going to catch up. They will catch up. My chat with him there was to when they catch to attack over the top, and we can really continue to work with a team, try and soften the race up a little bit, maybe drop a couple people. So knowing they're going to attack, knowing they're going to catch, I just keep going at a decent pace. Again, back up these hills, leading into the sprint. Put on some decent power so I don't get dropped when they come through because it's a smaller group and there's always that danger they go past and you get gapped and then you have to work hard. So Alex does a nice attack over the front here, over the top here. He gets some distance. Again, he's got his pure watts are really high, and so he's up to 7 seconds already. And I'll just let these guys. I'll make sure that I'm not getting dropped by anyone, but I'm not going to close this gap. So he's up to 8 seconds now, really going strong. I'm just sitting in, let them bridge up if they want to bridge up, but let him get a really nice gap. He's up to 10 seconds already, and this is a gap that Alex could hold. He's a great time trialist locally here, and he can hold steady watts for a long time and big watts. So for him, 3 watts a kilo for him is close to almost 4 for me. So I'm just encouraging him here, telling him it's going to stick, it's going to go. No one's really doing much here. But then we'll see in a second, we get up closer and Morrison decides he's going to close this one down again. So we've dropped a couple of people here. We're down to 6. So we've dropped 2 or 3 over the course of the race, and they just dropped out of the race completely, which is, I don't know. It would be nice if people just finish the race, but to each their own. So now here Morrison goes and he puts in the watts to close the gap. So I want to stick on his wheel, but then once I get up, I don't think there's going to be much left for any more attacks until we get to the climb. So we basically comes down to the usual formula with the after party series is race, but it's all decided on the climb. We've dropped a few, but for the most part, it's the main players are all still here. So once Morrison catches, he tends to he doesn't want to attack over the top. He just sits in. So we've got a gap on a few, but I'm tired. Morrison, I think he just wants to wait for the climb, and Alex is tired from his attacks as well. So it's a small gap, but they're easily going to catch on here. We've got one more lap around the sprint, and then it'll be back up to the climb. So back on this challenge, It's not something I don't think any trainer or coach would ever recommend to do 30 races in 30 days, but it was fun. It was challenging, and it was the motivation and something to sort of make sure that I was on the bike. And it just like it was a push that I needed. I feel the fitness is great. Some of the numbers I'm getting on some segments, some different climbs, they're back to where I was looking at like 3 or 4 years ago, where I was in much better shape, and I'm not expecting to get back there, but it's nice to be close and nice to be competitive in races again and not just pack fodder. And so here we're coming into the last sprint. Everyone's still all together. This group is going to stay together until the final climb. No one's going to push at this point and burn their match on the sprint just to get 3 seconds, because that 3 seconds easily evaporates on a climb after you've burnt those matches. Neo's pushing a little bit, but I'm not going to be the one to try to bridge up. I'll let others do that if they want to. So I'm just going to sit in behind these guys um, and let them do the work. And then again, once we get at the top of the sprint, I'll come across. Now, there's a little bit of a gap on a couple people, but it's not enough to make a huge difference. Unfortunately, Alex gets caught out a bit here, and he just gets back in just as we're starting the climb. So he wasn't able to benefit from the draft and being in the pack, and had to work a little bit more leading into the climb, which I think in the end hurt him at going up the climb. Just that work just to try to catch up. So here we go. Morrison's the strongest in the group. I think we've seen that throughout the race as he closed down every attack that we had. And Neo, like I'd seen before, his numbers on the climb are going to be good. So early on, I just want to just sit in. When it's not too steep, there is still draft. You can see on the draft meter in the corner that there is still some watt savings before it gets too steep. And then just holding onto that feather power up, hoping to use it at the last little steep bit just before the line to see how it can go, and try to use the sprint. So here we coming to the last few hundred meters, and Morrison just attacks and just goes over the top and just too strong. He's up at 7.5, 8 watts a kilo, and I just couldn't match, but rolling in second, and I think that was my second best time ever on that climb. Not a bad way to wrap up a month of racing, and happy to take a few days rest now, and then maybe get back at it on the weekend. We'll see. There are a few races that I would like to do then, and yeah, feeling a lot better about my fitness, feeling a lot better about racing now, and just being able to be competitive, and not being too worried about moving up with my race score. So thanks again for watching, and hopefully I'll drop another video sometime soon.